Hello there Twitchers and YouTubers, and welcome to this special video from Blue Goose Racing Streaming explaining the brand new build in iRacing Dirt Racing. When this build was first teased on April 1st, 2016, everyone thought it was a joke, but when the months and days went along, everyone realized that it wasn't. And on March 29th, 2017, Dirt Racing was out on the Iracing.com service, and everyone has been running it ever since. This video is going to explain some of the cars and the tracks that are available to you on the iRacing service, as well as some driving tips as well, and how to run some of these tracks with some of the cars as well. Keep in mind, some of the paints on the cars are from TradingPaints.com. The link will be in the description below. So without further ado, we're going to go right into the explanation of some of the cars available to you on the iRacing.com Dirt Racing service. We start things off with the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint cars. They are available to you in 3 different engine configurations based upon cubic inches: 305, 360, and 410. 410 being the highest horsepower ones that are mostly used for the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car series. The sprint car itself is very lightweight, so it makes it very easy to control for the most part, especially in lower horsepower situations with the cubic inches. The big tall wings also provide tons of downforce, and it really allows you to fly around corners that you think would be possible. In terms of driving tips for this sprint car, you kind of have to let the car almost let itself rotate because it wants to turn it left. Don't fight the steering wheel too much, because you got tons of downforce and you can really slide around the corners very well with ease. Most tracks you can run pretty much full throttle until the track gets covered in, then you have to play the throttle just a little bit. But the downforce of these cars makes it a great car to drive and tons of fun to drive, and my personal favorite of the dirt cars. The next car available to you is the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series Dirt Late Model. And this car is also available to you in 3 different configurations: Limited, Pro, and Super. Super is the one that's run by the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Late Model series. This car handles way differently than the sprint car. It has a tendency to really pull toward the right side toward the wall if you're not careful because of its floating rear end. You have to think a lot quicker and be a little bit more earlier on your turning, and also be a little bit more smooth because this car has a tendency to be slow rotating and slow biting if you get a crank to the wheel right too much. The late model, though, is also a car that can also be pretty good to drive as well, and it also has to be driven differently, unlike the sprint car, where a lot of times you can run full throttle with a sprint car. You can't really do that with this late model. You have to really be more patient with the throttle and be a little bit more floaty on the throttle as well. But still, this is also a good car to drive as well, and also a lot of fun as well, especially in the lower portions as well, like the Pro or Limited. Another difference from the Super to the Limited late model is that the big rear wing on the spoiler there is almost removed, along with less horsepower as well. Also a special treat, you can also run the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series trucks on the Eldora Speedway, and you can have your very own Mud Summer Classic, as demonstrated a few years ago for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. The Mud Summer Classic is a very big event at the Eldora Speedway, and the trucks handle, well, pretty wild with its base ton of horsepower and not a lot of downforce on these trucks. You also have to really muscle these trucks around just to get them sideways. It's very difficult to have them be more finesse, but if you get it going just right, it can be a lot of fun and tons of close racing, as you'll see when we start to go over the tracks for the iRacing Dirt Series, which we'll do that right now. And this first thing is going to cover a starter pack, which you first get if you first joined the iRacing.com service. The iRacing.com starter packs, I like to call it, provide you with the dirt version of the USA International Speedway and 2 cars, the Ford Legends 34 dirt car and the dirt version of the Street Stock, which is basically a Chevrolet Camaro. The USA track itself, if we were to compare it to the paved track, is a lot wider but a lot less banking, so there'll be a lot more sweeping corners throughout. In terms of the cars themselves, the Legend car is very nimble, very lightweight, and fairly easy to control, especially with the fact you can almost make the turns at full throttle. It's definitely great fun for people who are just starting out on iRacing and want to have a car to get good handling and a little bit of speed as well, and be able to fling around the corners just a little bit. On the opposite hand, however, the Street Stock is a lot more bigger, a lot more bulkier, but a bit more horsepower as well. So it's kind of like a setting, I guess, of total opposites. You have a car that's very lightweight, easy to control, but not that much speed, where you have another car that's a lot bigger and have a lot more horsepower. The Street Stock itself does have its own series, and that's where a lot of people are going to be starting out their dirt racing careers on, especially for people who are just starting the iRacing service. So the suggestion for driving a street stock is to really pay attention to where your car is and have it rotate it quite early as well, because of the fact it's so heavy and it doesn't have as much downforce compared to, let's say, the late model. But both cars are definitely fun to drive in their own right, and they are definitely something that a lot of beginners will get used to if they want to really get used to running dirt on the iRacing.com service. We now head to one of the famous dirt tracks in all the states. It's the Eldora Speedway located in Roxburgh, Ohio, home to many great events as the World of Outlaws Crash and Sprint Car Series Kings Royal, the late model Dirt 100 and the late model Dream, and also, as you see on the screen, the Mud Summer Classic. Eldora will be the track that most people are starting with when the dirt racing came out, and the track is definitely lined up for a lot of great racing. If you're in the sprint car, especially early on the run, it's basically full throttle. You can really fly around this place and have plenty of room to maneuver around. Eventually, the track will start to rubber up, especially in the middle part of the grooves. Then you want to start searching around the bottom and the top part of the track. So throttle rhythm is also a key here around most tracks, especially here in Eldora, and eventually another track we're going to go to later on. But Eldora is definitely the most popular track on the iRacing service as of this point, but it's also great racing and great fun as well. Our next stop is Volusia Speedway in Bartow, Florida, which is basically the home of the season openers for the World of Outlaws Crash and Sprint Car Series and the World of Outlaws late models, that being the Dirt Car Nationals, a free night event which kicks off the dirt racing season. Volusia Raceway Park, unlike Eldora, is a long sweeping corners, a little bit less banking, but is almost just as wide, and actually is a little bit easier in my opinion to drive on this track than it is in Eldora, because the thing about Volusia that is kind of low and it's kind of sweeping, but it just feels like it's a lot easier to drive than what you may think. Even in the late model, though, as well, it's definitely just as easy to drive. It's definitely a place that should hold some pretty good racing as well, especially later on. Now, the only thing about this track, it is a little bit narrower, so first timers may have a little bit tougher time getting used to the walls there being just a little bit narrower than it is in Eldora. But still, a great track and has provided definitely some great racing for the season openers in each respective series. Our final stop is home of the Pennsylvania Posse and the National Open. It is showtime at Williams Grove Speedway. Williams Grove Speedway is, in my opinion, the toughest track to get a hold of, especially for first timers, because a lot of times you're so used to just riding that sprint car full throttle and almost slinging into the corners. You cannot do that here in Williams Grove with the corners being so sweepy and so tight. You have to really play at the front because a lot of times if you get it too sideways early on, the right rear tire is going to bite, really dig in and screw up your steering big time. It's a track that definitely demands a lot of concentration and a lot of practice because you want to be able to get used to these tight corners on this track, which is also very fast front straight as well. The longest straightaways on the dirt racing surface in terms of the real tracks. But still, Williams Grove has definitely provided some great racing in the past and should be nothing short of amazing when you get to real racing. Well, I hope all this video will serve some purpose to show you what the dirt surface is like on the Iracing surface. And if we were to give my opinion on this so far, it's definitely worth the wait. A lot of fun so far. Some races I've done, even though I have struggled in the past few races here and there, but it's all part of the process as well of learning the dirt car racing as well. But like I said, it's definitely great fun, and I would recommend everyone to try out dirt racing. It's definitely a blast.